Welcome to Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. I am Rev Melissa, and SIP stands for Spirit and Practice. And that's what we're doing because the perfection is in the practice. Perfection is in the practice. So, we are in our flow series, and I have been so enjoying it. And I have to admit, y'all, I'm looking into the flow psychology program. I'll keep you posted. Maybe I'll just take like a little class or something to help me get over, this little itch I got now for flow psychology. But it's been so good, and I just been so enjoying researching Dr. Makai Csikszentmihalyi. He is a fascinating individual. So we're going to be talking more about flow today, more about some of the work of his that I have discovered and that I want to share with you all today. And then tomorrow we'll be wrapping up the flow series, and then we'll see what comes forth on Monday. Yes? All right. So I just want to remind you all the definition of flow that we're working with is Dr. Csikszentmihalyi's definition. And that is that state where you're fully immersed in an activity, feeling energized, focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process. So, what we're pulling out from there is fully immersed, feeling energized, focus, you're fully involved, and enjoying the process. Okay, so that's what we're pulling out. When you have those elements, I have a sneaky suspicion that you may be in the flow. You may be in the flow. So, when was the last time you felt like you were in the flow? What were you doing? What gives you that flow state? All right, because there is a neurochemical change that happens in our brain. There is an impact. Yes, Dr. Karina said writing. Yes, writing is one for me too, Dr. Karina. When I write, I'm in the flow. I could just, it's like a portal opens up and all of these things just come rushing out onto the page. And sometimes I'm like, who wrote that? Right, Karina? You ever have that experience? Totally flow state. Doing my steps. Oh, yes, Tim, doing my steps. So, exercise is one of those things that can help us stimulate those neurochemicals that's happening when we're in the flow state. So, I want to talk about a little bit of that today. So, remember, y'all, this is just a sip. This is just a sip of a huge topic of flow. And then when you add the neurochemical aspects to it, that just take it to a whole nother level. So this is just a sip. So if this is interesting to you, please go and do some research on your own. You could just start off with Dr. Csikszentmihalyi, and you will discover a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. So basically, there are five chemicals in the brain which are performance enhancement chemicals. And those five chemicals get stimulated, activated, enhanced when you're in the flow state, right? There's a heightened, your senses are heightened. I'm sure when you were skydiving, Sekou, that your senses were so heightened. You were so aware of everything that was happening, right? You're able to take in more information. You're able to take in more information. That adrenaline is pumping. The serotonin is on. So the chemicals in your brain are stimulated when you're in the flow state. You're able to process information more deeply and quickly. Yes, more deeply and quickly. And you're able to link ideas together, right? When you're in the flow state, ideas come and you're able to connect them more easily, right? And the chemicals lower the signal to noise ratio. So everything kind of fades into the back, right? You're not that tuned in to what the noise levels are. Like I could be in my house and all kinds of activity can be going on. But when I'm in the zone, I don't hear any of it. I don't hear even any of it. Someone could come into my office and start talking to me, but because I'm in the zone, it's not registering, right? You ever have that experience? It just doesn't register because you're in the zone, because your brain, the chemicals in your brain is helping you to focus on what it is that you're doing, right? So you can detect more patterns when you're in the flow state, right? When you're working on something and you just can't seem to figure it out, everything seems disconnected. And then you find yourself in the flow state, and then all of a sudden you're like, aha moment, or you're like, ding, 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 ding. It all comes together. Oh yeah, I love that feeling too, Karina. When that happens, it's like, oh yes, it's like the heavens are opening up and just giving you everything that you need. That's what that flow state does to you. It is a neurochemical activity that is happening. So it has a physiological impact on our chemistry. Yes? It links the lateral thinking of incompatible ideas together, so you're making all kinds of connections, and it heightens your awareness, right? So remember, Dr. Csikszentmihalyi had talked about the 8 components of flow state. So I just want to review them again with you all real quick, because this also has to do with the chemicals that are being released in your bodies. So you have your goals are clear. You're not trying to figure out anything. It's clear. You have clarity. There's a strong concentration and focused attention. There's a loss of the feeling of self-conscious. You are totally aware. Your awareness is heightened. The ego has kind of taken a nap. The ego has taken a nap, and you are in the flow. You are totally conscious. You're almost like in the super conscious when you're in the flow state. And we remember that there's a distorted sense of time. Time means nothing. Time and space means nothing. Hours could have gone by and it feels like 5 minutes, or 5 minutes could have gone by and it feels like hours, right? And you get immediate feedback when you're in the flow state. Immediate feedback. And there's a balance between your skill level and the challenge. And I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow, because that speaks to growth and stretching ourselves. And we have total control over the situation. But when we're writing and when we're reading and when we're counting steps, and we're in total control of those situations, right? And we're able to absorb so much. We're able to absorb information in a way that we're not able to when we're not in a flow state. Yes? So those are the 8 components of flow state. So remember that it's not just something that is going on in our consciousness, right? In our conscious mind. It's also having a neurochemical impact in our body, in our chemistry. And that's why we feel so pumped up, right? We feel so alive, right? We might even be tingling in our body. We might have goosebumps when we're in the flow state. So it's real. There's a real physical aspect to the flow state. It's all connected. Mind, body, spirit, soul. All connected. And that takes us right back, y'all. It takes us right back to our incantations, to our super affirmations, our supercharged affirmations, that we're saying it like we mean it. We say it in flow. We use the quality of God that we are, and we incorporate it. When you're in that flow state, invite in that quality of God and say your incantation when you're in the flow state. Karina, the next time you're writing, say your incantation, that quality of God that you are. Invite it all into that energy, right? Because your brain, right? Your brain is going to process it in a heightened way, So we can combine all of these elements together, right? And create something and co-create something that is a demonstration of the truth of who we are. Because that's what the work is. right? To be that expression, that individualized, unique expression of the divine that we are. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right, y'all. So we have woo waited. We talked about passion yesterday. And so today we talked about the chemical impact. And tomorrow we're going to talk about flow and the relationship with growth. The relationship with growth. So we're going to wrap that up tomorrow. So join me tomorrow. And we're going to talk about how flow is the mechanism for growth. Flow is a mechanism for growth. So I'm so excited about that. All right,
Yes,
y'all.
coach.
And
So
you
until
know, I'm in my flow. I'm in my flow when I am living life in joy, connected to my yes, and when I am supporting people and doing the same. So if you need some support with your flow, with getting into the flow state, with connecting with that which gives you flow, that feels like flow, just reach out to me. We can have a consultation and do some work together one on one. It's nothing like working one on one. It's more than a sip, y'all. It's more than a sip. All right. So if the flow series has resonated with you and you feel moved to participate in the law of circulation and the giving and in the receiving, you can do so by doing a love offering, Cash App, Venmo. I am Red Melissa. There's the information for you. And I would so appreciate it. And thank you so much in advance. So we're living life in joy, y'all. We're connected to our yes. We're connected to our yes. All right. All right. So, Heike, I see you loving my joy cup, having coffee in it right now. All right, Heike. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. I know some folks put soup in it and they have their soup in it because it's 15 ounces, so it's pretty big. So you could do all of that. And she said Brad loves his too. Yes, now when I hand him a cup of coffee, I'm not sure if his big smile is for me or the joy cup. I'm sure it's for both, Heike. You know, Brad loves you and he loves his joy mug. That is so funny. That is so funny. All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here with me today live. I appreciate the energy and the participation. I certainly do. So, peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.